If you're a Michigan hunter, I'm sure that you've heard the news that the DNR came out stating that if you harvest a deer in the 2022 hunting season, you are required to go onto the app or go online and report your harvest. So as far as the tags go, nothing's changed on that. So you'll still have to go and get a tag from wherever you buy your deer tags at, and you still have to put it onto your harvest of whatever you get, whether that be a doe or a buck. But on top of that, you also have to do the mandatory reporting within 72 hours. So with that, it breaks it down in a couple different things. You can report it online. You can use their app that they came out with and download that on your phone. Once you report your harvest, you will get a number, and that'll be your verification number that you can show if you get pulled over or have to show proof that you registered your harvest. So one of the ways that you have to do that is with your processor or your taxidermist. So both of them may ask for your confirmation number once you plug in the stuff through the app or online. The state of Michigan basically said that one of the reasons that they went to this mandatory harvesting reporting system is so that we can have a more in-time accurate number of the number of deer that are being harvested in the state of Michigan. And I know a couple other states have gone to this too, and Michigan is kind of one of the last states to implement this process as well. Going back to the 1950s, Michigan has always pushed out surveys and things like that for harvest reporting. So if you did harvest a deer that year, you would get something in the mail. Hey, did you harvest a deer? Did you not? What was your success rate? What county did you get it in? And just all the detailed information, and people would send it back. Well, since the 1950s all the way up until last year, that number has decreased 70% according to the Michigan DNR website. So with that, they think that this mandatory reporting and everything else like that would make it easier to get better numbers. So here are some of the things that would happen to you if you did not report your harvest to their app or online. So this is coming under the Conservation Order 3.103, issuance of deer or elk tags, violation of deer or elk kill tags, unlawful acts. The potential penalty for failure to comply with harvest reporting is a 90-day misdemeanor. The fines and costs for such violation can range from $50 to $500. While the regulation is written in our Wildlife Conservation Order, which is where all of our deer regulations reside and allow conservation officers to enforce violations, this is the first year we will emphasize an educational approach to hunters rather than enforcement in most circumstances. So I do like that the Natural Resources of Michigan is actually saying that they want to use this here as an educational purpose. Again, some people may not read the hunting regulations every year, and that is on them because you are supposed to keep up with the rules and regulations of what goes on in your state as a sportsman. That's your responsibility for ethics and things like that. And so that's good that they're using this year to not hound people and to gouge them with fines and misdemeanors and everything else like that. Hopefully, that's what we see out in the deer woods this year. Time will tell, but it's nice to know that they're at least coming at it from a different approach and trying to make sure that everyone's aware of it in case they didn't get time or whatever reason it is to not read the regulations. So when you shoot a deer, you have 72 hours to report that harvest to the DNR, whether that be through the website or whether that be through the app. And they're going to ask you a couple things, and we'll cover that right now. They're going to be asking where you bought your tag for your deer tags, what county you took the harvest in, what did you use to kill it? Did you use a gun, bow, muzzleloader, so forth? And did you see a feral hog? I've been hearing about feral hog sightings and things like that my whole life growing up in Michigan, and I personally have never seen one in Michigan. And I'm curious, and I'm going to put the question out to you guys. Any Michiganders out there, have you guys seen any feral hogs out in the woods? Because I've heard myths about it, like they're ghosts. So I'm curious to see if you guys are seeing those out there. They're going to have a map that has a digital pointer so you can show exactly where you harvested your animal. So they say on the website that the map that has the little pointer on it is private information that only the DNR are going to have, and they're not going to give it out to anybody else, and it's only used for statistical purposes. So Michigan Outdoors did a interview with one of the DNR officers, and one of the things that they said and the big push for this app is so that we can get immediacy of the harvest, and we can also track the numbers of bucks to doe ratio harvesting. And so that's one of the big pushers of this required reporting. So you can get an in-time real life stat. One of the potential drawbacks that could happen is that most people may not report their deer once they get it. So that could be a flaw or an issue that maybe the DNR isn't prepared to properly handle. So yeah, everybody may follow the law when it comes to buying a tag, or I'm sure that there's people out there who don't even buy a tag. But then you still have to get those people to report their harvest. So I'm sure that there's a lot of people out there that know how to butcher their own deer. What's to hold them accountable to say, hey, you have to do this, other than you saying that? So again, I know that there's a penalty and there's a fine and things like that for not following the law, but again, what do we have other than the DNR's word of, yep, we have all this information and we're collecting more information than just the deer from you? It's an overreach, I think. And so again, call me crazy, but I think it's something we need to look into a little bit more. I look at it like this, and I could be completely insane for this logic, but to me it makes sense. Let me know what you think. But let's say you buy food from a farmer. There's a couple processes to that. The farmer gets taxed on his land. He also gets taxed on the chemicals that he uses on the land as well. From there, he has to transport and harvest all of those things and take them to the actual store. Once he does that, he gets taxed on gas, like we all do. And then once he does that, it transfers over to the store. The people who own the store get taxed on taxes for the land, taxes for the building, and they get taxed on the revenue. So knowing that, what is to say that you don't start getting taxed on the area that you start hunting? So if you want to hunt in, let's say, Oakland County, too many people already hunt in Oakland County, so we're just going to overtax that anyway. So in order for you to buy your tag, there's going to be a higher tax cost because you want to hunt in Oakland County. Look, at the end of the day, this is just my opinion. None of this stuff is going in stone or anything else like that. I'm just giving you things to think about. And I know some people are just going to do it without questioning it. And I think that that's what I'm trying to bring to light, is that we should question the things that people do, because ultimately it affects us as hunters. So at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself the question, do we have to actually put a mark of where exactly we harvested the deer? What's the point of that? They say that that's all going for informational purposes and things like that, and it's not going to be given out to anybody else. But what do we have that reassures us other than just their word? So those are the kind of questions that I'm trying to bring to light. Those are the kind of things that I don't see as relevant to deer hunting, but I'm trying to bring to light to you guys. And I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Am I completely wrong on this topic? Do I not know what I'm talking about? I like the conversation. I like talking about it. I'm not saying by any means that this is 100% right. I'm just trying to, again, I'm just a deer hunter. That's all I can say. It's like Ted Nugent said, I'm just a deer hunter. That's it. So hopefully you guys like this video. I know it's probably the most controversial video I've done on my channel so far, but I'm trying to get a little bit more vocal on the things that I'm passionate about and the things that I like to talk about. And this is one of them. And again, I'm not 100% right on everything, but I like to bring up topics that interest me, and this is one of them. So thanks for tuning into the video. I'll catch you in the next one.